Yeah. Yeah, I got it.
Okay, it's now 5:45, and we are convening the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees, September 16th. And at this time, I'd like to ask Trustee Gomez if he will lead us in prayer.
Sure. Please stand. Father God, once again we come to you. We ask for your blessings. We ask for your guidance. And we ask for your wisdom. We ask this through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Are there any members or visitors present? So does it know?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right, thank you. All right, public comments, any public comments?
There are no public comments.
All right, no one has signed up for public comments. We move on to comments by individual board members. Are there any comments by my colleagues? All right. Now we move on to item 5 on the agenda, update by the college president, Dr. Soares.
Thank you, Trustee. So we had several events that I was able to be a part of this past month that I'm really excited for. One of them is actually meeting with Congressman Michael Cloud early this month. Is something that the Rotary had put together for the community at whole. One of the discussions that I had with Congressman Cloud is really beginning to look at the legislation regarding the Bachelor of Applied Science degree offerings for institutions of our size. So he was very receptive of that conversation and really advised that we could have further meetings to garner some support and really push that work forward. So really just a good opportunity for us to communicate what we're trying to do as an institution moving forward strategically and garner that support. So there's some other updates that actually have taken place just this afternoon, which I'm particularly excited for, that align with this initiative and these goals. So I'm happy to share that those announcements with the board as well as part of this meeting. Another update that I have is regarding our Institutional Leadership Council. This group was put together and basically it's constructed on behalf of our administration. So all of our directorships and our administrators came together and we built a governance group that allows them to communicate issues that they may be having at their level that either administration or the executive cabinet can work to resolve. So I think this governance group is going to be critical for us moving forward strategically and some of the decisions that we make not only as a board but also as an executive cabinet. It was a very lengthy meeting but very productive. I want to thank Dr. Jones for willing to serve as chair as part of that group. One of the conversations that came up as part of that meeting is really the college outlining certain processes and procedures moving forward to make us more effective and efficient. So that team was actually beginning to actually have some work in that area, and they'll be making recommendations to the executive cabinet, and ultimately those recommendations will come to the board as we implement those strategies from that group. So very excited. This group will be meeting once a month, and once again it really serves as a sounding board for some of the operational issues that or challenges that they may be having that we can assist with on behalf of the administration. The other opportunity that I had was actually I was able to present at Rotary earlier last month. Once again, just communicating some of our goals as an institution and garnering support on behalf of the community. I do want to share with the board that, as you all are aware, I've been very vocal about the college pursuing a Bachelor of Applied Science degree for the institution. I really do feel that strategically that would put us in a position for long-term viability and ultimately also feeds into our enrollment strategy. So as I'm having these meetings, I'm garnering support, and at one point when we get to that precedent where we may have to justify or tell that narrative, we have not only the support of the community and our state legislators, but also the college community at whole. So it is kind of like wraparound work that we're doing to make sure that we're all delivering the same message and we have the same goals and initiatives to really progress the institution moving forward.
Obviously, Rotary did a really great job presenting that too.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was fun. So we're having a lot of fun. We're getting as external as we possibly can, considering the time constraints that we have on a week-to-week basis. So this particular event is part of the BISD beam signing ceremony. I was invited by Dr. Fanning and his administration, so I want to thank him just for the amazing work that he's doing in his capacity as superintendent for BISD, and really bringing a strategic, long-term focus throughout the community and how we build our educational program at the K through 12 level. So very exciting. I was fortunate enough to be able to sign right where it says Beeville. I think that was indicative of some of the work that we're doing. And I didn't actually just sign my name, I put CBC 2025. So the college is ingrained in the work that we're doing, also in the collaborations that we have with the community. So it was a little hot during that event. A lot of people were asking me, why are you wearing a suit? I think I'm like a hybrid model when it comes to suits and wearing that attire, because I don't sweat. I've developed that capacity at some point. I think it's because I'm from the Valley. So I've been trained to not sweat regardless of what attire I'm wearing. So, but that was a very fun event that we had that we were a part of as well for the community. The next one is we had a ribbon cutting for St. Mary's Academy Charter School and the Mobile STEM Lab on September 10th. I want to thank Trustee Gomez for facilitating that collaboration and us being a part of that. It really was something that the St. Mary's Academy was already facilitating, that we were invited to participate in. I was just amazed by the labs and the technology that the students have access to. So I think it really allows us to think outside the box on what type of academic program we could bring to the institution and to our community in these types of partnerships. So that event was also very well attended, and we were able to connect with a lot of our local leadership on some of the work that we're doing collaboratively throughout the region. So it was a very fun and exciting event. The next one is we're likely going to have some superstars on our trustees, on the board of trustees as part of this event. So we facilitated the production of our 60th anniversary video for our fall convocation that is taking place on September the 26th. So I do want to thank the trustees for really engaging in that work. I think it helps build the connection with the work that you all do day to day in your public service, which I think oftentimes goes unnoticed. So on behalf of the college community, I want to thank you all for the work that you all do and for participating and I think really engaging and collaborating in this approach for this type of programming. So the only thing I was worried about as far as this production is I was worried you all were going to request hors d'oeuvres like at the beginning of the board meeting and wine and things like that. So you all got, I think, maybe like not the 15 minutes of fame, but definitely your 15 seconds of fame. And I think that just speaks of the type of quality that we want to begin to produce as a college and really change the perspective that our employees have of the work that our trustees do day to day in our mission and our vision. So thank you all for participating in that. I also saw the photos that are posted online, so Amanda, great work on behalf of you and your team as well. You all look like rock stars, I say so myself. So if you haven't gotten your photo yet updated, I would highly encourage you to do so. And if not, at the very least, visit the website and kind of take a look at the videos that are the photos that have been posted online.
Yeah, Amanda and your team did a great job.
Yeah, we did.
So,
The whole thing was wonderful.
Thank you, Amanda.
Produced.
The next event was part of the Miss Western Week Leadership Forum. We did participate in the 2025 Miss Western Week Leadership Forum on Saturday, September 13th. So some of the CBC representatives included Dr. Kayla Devereaux-Jones, Christy Morgan, and Susie Gaitan. Some of the topics that were discussed were just dual credit opportunities at the college, some of the academic and transfer pathways that we have also at CBC, and the first generation student experience that these leaders within our community have, and really sharing and highlighting those experiences and building that connection with this group of young ladies and really providing them with that resource and reference point on how to be successful, not only at CBC but at any institution of higher education. So once again, this just goes back to the approach that we're taking at being involved with the community and really building those connections and making sure that we're communicating the same message across the entire institution. So some upcoming events that we have on September 21st, we have a scheduled appearance on Domingo Live to promote Teen Takeover. That is on September 21st. September 26th, we have CBC Fall Convocation. October 1st, we have the CBC meet and greet in Kingsville. So Dr. Lisa Castañeda is actually facilitating an event where I'll be present and actually connecting with a lot of our leadership within that area and region as well, to just once again build that connection and that communication. On October 3rd, some Western Week activities include the scholarship presentation, the parade, and Selena tribute performance that we will have here on campus as well. So very active, very busy month, and I'm really excited about the energy and just the support that we're getting from all of the entire college community and the work that we're doing as a team. So any questions?
Good start.
Yeah.
Great job.
And that's it for my updates for this.
Okay. The next item is the consent agenda. I don't believe there are any items this month in the consent agenda, so we can move on to item number 7, reports. So I'll turn it over again to Dr. Suarez and his administration.
Thank you, Trustee Sanchez. So some of the upcoming reports that we have, one is on the report on the PATH scholarship grant. I do want to pretty much open the floor to Dr. Bird. I know Shonda Fanning has been doing a lot of great work in that area, so thank you so much for your leadership. I know this work is tedious and difficult, so we do thank you for the work that you're doing. But Dr. Bird, if you want to present on this item.
We brought the grant notification last board meeting, but our division with Ms. Fanning's leadership was successful in receiving 2 different scholarships tied to Cougar Care, so I'm actually let her get the recognition and provide a brief report on what those are.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It is an honor to be here tonight as your Cougar Care Director to share some exciting news and some updates about the grant funding we secured. The resources are allowing us to expand wraparound services that support our students' basic needs, mental health, ensuring their personal well-being is as strong as their academic preparation. So our goal is clear. Every student that graduates from Coastal Bend College, we want them fully equipped for their next chapter in life. So through Cougar Care, we've been awarded 2 significant grants totaling $12,500, and I'm going to take a little moment just to highlight each of them. First, CBC was awarded a $2,500 grant from the Student Basic Needs Coalition to fund a peer navigator position, where $1,250 per semester is paid directly to the student that's serving the role. One of our international students will take on the leadership position, receiving bi-weekly training and supervision. As the peer navigator, the student will assist peers in assessing critical resources such as SNAP benefits, emergency aid, housing support, and food assistance through Cougar Care. The initiative not only strengthens CBC's ability to meet students' basic needs, but it also empowers student leadership and provides valuable data to guide future services. It is a meaningful step forward in our commitment to student success, demonstrating that CBC supports the whole student, both inside and out of the classroom. Secondly, the Coastal Bend College has been selected for the 2025-2026 Ellucian Foundation PATH Scholarship. PATH is Progress, Accomplishment, Thriving, and Hope, which we were granted $10,000. The grant will provide immediate, tangible relief to CBC students experiencing financial hardship. Because as you know, many of our students balance work, jobs, coursework, family responsibilities, and often find themselves without a financial safety net. So a sudden expense or loss of income can easily derail their direction towards their education. So the PATH scholarships are designed to prevent that from happening by covering essential needs, including tuition, textbooks, transportation, and any emergency living costs. Those funds will be administered in partnership with the financial aid and business offices. So depending on the need, it'll either be applied directly to the student account or dispersed for urgent expenses such as food, housing, or transportation. The focus will be to ensure that assistance is delivered quickly and used in ways that most effectively help students by stay enrolled, engaged, and on track. So the PATH program perfectly aligns with our mission to educate and empower students for success. By reducing financial stress and eliminating the barriers, it allows students to focus on their academic and career goals rather than on survival. So simply put, the scholarships are gonna enable our students to succeed based on their potential, not their financial circumstances. This is not only life-changing for individual students, but also strengthens the future of our entire community. Cougar Care is demonstrating its value in helping students overcome these obstacles and achieve success here at CBC. Thank you for your time and your support.
Thank you, Dr. Fleming. Thank you. Sorry. We appreciate everything that you do.
No,
So,
congratulations.
thank you for all your
Thank
hard work.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
And this is for reporting purposes only, so no action is required on behalf of the reporting board. And we covered the CBNC Peer Navigator route as part of that process as well. Right? So, the next item that we have, trustee, is the fourth quarter investment report for June to August 2025. Tara can go ahead and cover that update, please.
So you'll have a copy of the investment report for the end of our fiscal year through August of 2025. And this was prepared by Mr. Eller, our investment advisor, and he's going to give a brief. Oh, here he is. He's going to give y'all a handout and discuss it briefly.
Thank you for having me here again. I was here on June 24th, and I presented the third quarter report. Now we'll report the fourth quarter report, and as part of the fourth quarter, since it is the end of the fiscal year, I'll take it back for the full year period. I'll do my best to keep it short and sweet. So you've already seen the Public Funds Investment Act report that was prepared with the administration, so we'll skip on to page 2, is the fourth quarter fiscal year report. And again, that's just for the 3-month period of the fourth quarter, June, July, and August. The highlighted items you see there, I carry over the balances at the end of May, carry it up to the top there, to the starting period, as well as for the fourth quarter. So you can see for the short 3-month period, beginning on June 1st through the end of August, your investment results, $130,971, and income over from the bonds over that time period was $73,536. And again, that's just for the short 3-month period of the fourth quarter. The next 2 pages you see are cumulative performance and summary reports. And again, that's where the information comes from. This is the actual statement where the information that we just went through on the prior page comes from. So again, I don't make up any of this data. This is real data that comes from the firm. So it is good data to have and audited. The next page, again, takes you for the whole year. Your fiscal year, August 31 from 2004 through August 31 of 2005. And you can see for that 12-month period, your bond portfolio was up a little less than 6%, 5.68%. That's a nice positive number. And you can see over that time period, there were 2 months in the red. And again, less, very small numbers, October 24 down 0.23%, in January of this year down 0.09%. What that reflects is just, again, movement in bond prices. It's not something, we can control. It's something the bond market data brings it forward. Again, I report it to you in an audited format. So for the 12-month period, you can see the income from the portfolio was $323,185. And the investment results over that time period were $421,510, which again is a 5.68% return. Not too shabby considering the portfolio is less than a 5-year maturity. I'm very pleased. We benefited from the bonds that the college bought, years ago. We haven't been stymied by the low interest rate environment that followed COVID. I think the college has been good stewards of the capital that it has again, to help the students being the primary goal. The next two pages, the cumulative performance and performance summary, again, is the where the information comes from that I just described. The next page is the maturity report. It's something I prepare for you every quarter, and it shows you everything in the portfolio, every bond that the college owns, when it matures, and you can see it adds up to $7.5 million. And again, this is on autopilot. These bonds have a stated maturity, and that's when those bonds will come due. It's a great piece that the college can use, the administration can use to plan around budgeted expenses, maintenance and the like, for the various campuses. So again, it shows you everything in the portfolio has less than a 5-year maturity, which keeps us in compliance with the Public Funds Investment Act. And again, college has been good stewards of the funds that it does have. The next page is a little boring, just to show you, and again, I put this in here every quarter because everything's priced off the 10-year treasury, so that's why I put it in the report. Your mortgage is priced off the 10-year treasury, and all instruments that in the bond market are pretty much priced off a 10-year treasury. So the items I highlighted there, Brazil, Germany, United Kingdom, France, Netherlands, Japan, and Australia, those are the only countries where the interest rates went up since I was here last in June. And as you can see, most of the other G20 nations' interest rates have come down. In fact, the Fed met today, and the Fed will make an announcement tomorrow about 2 o'clock. And with the anticipation, we think that they are going to lower interest rates. So I think the change in the White House has put a lot of pressure on the Fed, as you may have seen in the news, and we are just starting to see it. I think it'll happen tomorrow. It's about a 96% probability that we will see it tomorrow and to continue, which will affect the portfolio and the college's interest earnings on the funds that it does have. The next page is to give you a little historical perspective of what the Fed has done. And the last time we saw interest rates actually go up was July of 2023. And since then, we've seen 3 interest rates, 3 times that the Fed has actually lowered interest rates, which I anticipate we will hear again tomorrow. So again, you can see a lot of no change, a little bit of red where rates have come down, but again, interest rates haven't gone up in a couple of years now. The next 2 pages are the Federal Reserve Board press releases. And I put this in there, I know it's a little boring for y'all, but it's something I pay attention to. I look at the language to try to get a feel for future probabilities of directions interest rates will go. And the only 2 real changes I saw from the last 2 meetings, there is no meeting of the Fed in August. They get a vacation, a summer vacation, and like the students, of course. And in July, you can see the comment was highlighted, uncertainty about the economic outlook remains elevated. A little change from the month prior to that, where uncertainty about the economic outlook has diminished. So you can see that the tide has changed a little bit. I think the language indicates that Chairman Powell is going to, I think, succumb to a little pressure he's under and announce an interest rate change tomorrow. Again, we anticipate, as the following page shows you, with a very high probability of a 0.25% interest rate cut. The reason I included this, it hasn't been included in the past, is the blue, that's the probability of future interest rates. So you can see the probability is increasing. Our president, of course, comes from the real estate industry. Real estate likes lower interest rate prices. Homeowners like lower interest rates to, bring their mortgage payments lower. So I think there is a lot of pressure on the Fed. There's going to be a change in the Fed, as you know. There's one person that Trump's actually trying to fire on the Fed, going to the Supreme Court. But again, lower interest rates, I think, are coming. We've been talking about this to the Board of Trustees for quite a while now. The evidence is starting to present itself. And again, what that's gonna mean is interest rates are gonna affect the bonds that the college owns, and the interest you earn on various accounts as well. That's gonna be less interest earnings, you know, for that the college can use for their capital expenses. So again, it was a good quarter, it was a good year. I'd like to say I would be hopeful that I could continue to share good news like this in the next quarter and the coming year. We'll face some challenges together, but I don't think it's anything that we can't get through. And again, the Public Funds Investment Act, we keep in compliance with that, nothing longer than a 5-year maturity. But again, we'll keep moving forward with that. I'll entertain any questions with respect to your time.
Guess bond yields start going up now, huh? Interest rates going down?
Yeah, and again, what it is, that's what happens, is you heard me say in the past, interest rates are kind of like the old teeter-totter in the schoolyard. If interest rates go down, bond prices go up. So it helps the prices of the bonds you own go up in value. And of course, but if you buy a new bond, well, then the interest rate is going to be a little lower than the one you bought last month or last year. So again, lower interest rates will help the portfolio will look good because it'll make you'll see the appreciation witnessed in your investment returns. It's going to hurt the college on the actual interest that they are earning. So, but we'll continue to fight this battle together and continue to keep the portfolio very high quality and within full compliance.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks for
Appreciate it.
having me.
And this item also doesn't require action on behalf of the board, it's presented for information purposes only. Next item, 7D, is a presentation on acceptance of the Coastal Bend College Chief Executive Officer Academic Year 2024-25 report on sexual harassment, sexual assault, dating violence, and stalking incidents under Texas Education Code Section 51.253C. And Percy, our Vice President of Talent Engagement, will be providing us with an update on that.
So this is basically the Title IX Coordinator's Report. For all reports of Title IX that's come through the office for the whole year. Since September 1st of 24, we've actually had 6 reports come through. Most of them, there was not really anything that was basically Title IX. As you can see, it's all confidential. You can see what the report showed as what they came in as the alleged conduct and how they were disciplinary status, how it was ended up being fixed or not fixed if there was nothing in there that would actually go through the process. This report is presented to Dr. Suarez, and then there is a confirmation that he has to sign off that it was sent to the board that goes to the Higher Education Coordinating Board.
And I do want to highlight to the board that given the number of, we can call them incidents at this time, I mean, I think it's really insignificant considering the size of our institution and the fact that we have athletic programs and dormitories. I've been at other institutions where this list would be a lot more extensive. So I think it just speaks to the great work that our team does with respect to training our staff and reporting and our students as well. So we want to take a quick moment to thank them and the work that they do day to day as well. And once again, this is just presented for informational purposes only. I don't know if any of the trustees have any questions.
This is pursuant to the Clery Act, right?
Yes. So, next item, 7E, is report on engagement strategies for college employees, and this is something that, once again, Percy will give us informational presentation on.
So this is, I can't see the board, so I'm gonna kind of read through this. So it's an employee engagement. So this is something that we're gonna be starting, and I'm really excited about this process. So first pages you'll see is the recognition wall. This is gonna be outside our office. It's gonna look little bit different than what this is. This is just the first round. It was put through ChatGPT, and this is what it came up with. but it's gonna look really neat. I love the paw in the center. So this is gonna be, if you go to the next slide, this is gonna be for employee of the quarter. We're gonna have employee of the quarter on one side, and the other side is going to be probably for the peer awards that has the employee of the year, then the staff of the year, and the faculty of the year on the other side. As of right now, that's what we're planning. But our employee of the quarter is gonna be based on measurable contributions using a point-based system instead of a popularity contest. So we're gonna look at professional development, we're gonna look at attendance, job performance, customer service, whether there's above or standard evaluation, make sure they have no discipline issues, and then supporting the mission of the college. Next slide. So the employee of the quarter, the directors will be sending in their nominations to the cabinet members. The cabinet members, of course, we will all get together and present those to Dr. Suarez. And then nominees will be chosen based on the points that they're given. The winner will be announced in the month following the end of the quarter, and then we'll give them some kind of a plaque to keep in their office, and then plus their picture and recognition will go up on that board that we have there. The next slide. The next one is the quarterly engagement socials. During a focus group, we found one of the comments was, we want to get fed more. Which I thought was really a good idea, okay. So we're gonna do food-based or interactive games-based, and I've been calling it treats and eats, so if you hear me say that, that's what I plan on calling it. So, we have a committee that we're gonna put together, and the holiday is gonna be centered around a holiday, or just because we wanna have something that month, or that quarter. So we're gonna do a flexible program that creates fun and engagement. So quarter one, September through November, theme spooky eats and treats. We're gonna have decorated cupcakes and treats stationed around the decorated doors. You know how we do the decorated doors for Halloween? So we can do that. In quarter two, it's December through February, and I came up with a theme of kindness. I thought that would kind of go with everything that goes on there. So we've done this before, the 12 Days of Christmas scavenger hunt, where we hide the elves, you know, the elves on the shelf? We hide them around the different campuses, and everybody finds them, takes a selfie with them, and we gave out little Christmas ornaments. Then we'll have a holiday meal for the employees, and Valentine's Day, a social, we'll have a hot cocoa bar. We can set it up in the CEC room, and they can come by and just socialize, get hot cocoa. Quarter three is March through May. The theme is spring. We're gonna have an Easter trivia contest. We're gonna start looking at Kahoots, and we're gonna do it over the Kahoot website. And it's gonna be like 30 minutes. We'll do like 20 questions with a tiebreaker and have bonus questions. May, of course, we have our Employee Appreciation Day, which will have a catered meal and our peer awards. We're still gonna keep our peer awards. And then quarter four is June through August, and theme of summer. So July 4th, we're gonna have a root beer float social. We had that this year, and it went over really well. We'll have it, July 4th this year coming up is on a Saturday, so we'll either have it on the Thursday before, because most of the time we're off on that Friday. August, we'll have the Welcome Back Day when the faculty returns to work. We have breakfast and our lunch socials. And then whatever else we can figure out in between times. Then I also we have a new engagement program that we're not gonna reveal it yet because it's still in the works. We know what it is, but the program is scheduled to go live when we return in January. But it's gonna take a little bit of time to develop because Michael has to do some things on the IT side so that we can keep track. And there's gonna be 2 pages on the our self-service, our Cougar Gym, where the employees can go and where administration can go. So stay tuned for more. I'll have more for you in December.
Great.
And just want to take a quick moment. Thank you, Dr. Lytle. I want to make sure I correct myself. So we have a new doctor in the house.
Congratulations.
I presented this yesterday.
Successful.
Successfully. Yeah.
So I really think it speaks volumes considering the amount of programming that we actually have for our employees and given the limited scope of staff that we have within our HR department. Really, I'm just blown away by how creative our teams have been and really engaging our communities as they onboard and they start with the color. So I think that will really help us be more strategic in how we recruit and we retain our employees moving forward. So thank you, Dr. Lytle, once again for that
Some
work.
of my best memories of the college were things like this, events like this, when we got a chance to communicate. And ironic, it turns to work a lot of times, and so you end up having some ideas and some collaborative efforts, you know, that come through from those kind of things. So I think it'll be a very positive thing. It's a feel good.
They're not parties, they're gatherings. I see. So, okay. And once again, this is for informational purposes only to the board, no action is required.
Thank you, Dr. Suarez and staff. Under item number 8, new business, the first item, 8A, is consideration and possible approval and adoption of the 2025 tax rate and resolution. Dr. Suarez, I believe you and your administration have a presentation regarding this item.
And this, once again, I'll refer to our CFO, Tara Wells, to give us some information regarding this item on the agenda as well.
So this item is on the agenda to approve the proposed tax rate that was presented to the board on August 19, 2025. We requested voter approval tax rate of 0.1413 per 100 valuation for the tax rate for fiscal year 2026, which is the 2025 tax rate. This will fund college operations of $3.783 million for fiscal year 2026, and it will also fund debt payments in the amount of $855,000 for fiscal year 2026. As I mentioned during the public hearing, that is an increase of 0.126 per 100 valuation. But it is the tax rate that we would ask that you approve. So I can answer any questions if y'all have any, again, about the increase in this tax rate from last year.
This is a very significant increase. Do we see this happening again next year?
It's hard to say what we see. I mean, we do, as I wasn't here at the time that this was brought to the board for the initial proposed tax rate at the meeting. I think that it was set up prior to me, but it is something that, you know, we are always going to discuss with the board, and we can send out communication for that in order to fund operations. Like, as I mentioned earlier, the changes that we had in our revenue sources in previous years were very significant increases. And this was the first year where we kind of had a flat budget, and we've made a lot of changes to how the budget was created. This year it was a zero-based budget, which is what it should be, because you're saying if these are your expected revenues and these are your expected expenditures, like, you kind of want it to be at zero at the end of the year. And so in order to fund operations, we did make significant budget cuts, as all of the VPs can attest to, and so we are trying to operate within the means of our budget, and I feel like going forward, we are collaborating as a cabinet to make sure that we're focused on the institutional goals and we're using the funds in the best way possible, and we're saying no to a lot of initiatives that aren't required. And so I can assure you that going into next year, if the board wants to be involved earlier in the process, then we can definitely communicate with y'all so we can do what's best for the college, and you'll have more knowledge and information up front.
Yeah, we've been talking zero-based budget for the entire time that I've been on the board. I just do not like taking back to my constituents that we're gonna raise taxes again. So, probably the most significant I've had since I've been here, if I can remember correctly. I don't think I've ever seen that big of an increase, but nonetheless, it's the highest we can go without having to go out for voter approval. So,
And
that's all I've got. Thank you for answering the question.
yeah, and I can elaborate a little bit on Tara's comments. I do want to share with the board that we've been very strategic in how we evaluate and assess even purchases that are upcoming and moving forward. There's a lot of checks and balances and processes that we're putting into place to make sure that we're being good financial stewards of public funds. So just to kind of clarify that the goal would be not to have to bring this back next year with an increase. how we pretty much assess and evaluate our current year's budget on how we're managing our public funds for the institution, so.
And to add to that, there was also an increase in the average homestead value of approximately like 32,000, and so some of that kind of makes the increase significant because the average value of the homes have increased, and so, which was a 16.94% increase in the average value of like a homestead exemption, so.
And just for clarity, this is a $51 a year raise.
Yes, for a value, for the average homestead value.
Yes.
Based at like $100,000 home, so.
When is the last time we raised the tax?
When is the what?
When is the last time that we raised tax?
I'm
Last year,
Last
a little
year?
bit last year, yes.
I think the amount is not that bad.
I think it was about a penny last year also.
Yeah,
Things were just under a penny, 32.8, myself.
not that bad.
Yeah, we'll just continue, our constituents can't afford that much more. We're not in an area where we have the highest salary, so it's really concerning. But thank you for answering the question.
Any other questions or comments from the board? At this time, the chair will entertain a motion on this agenda item to approve the proposed tax rate.
I move to adopt a tax rate of 0.014130 with 0.02405 allocated for the purpose of payment of principal and interest on debt, and 0.1172 allocated for maintenance and operation, which effectively 7.99% increase in the tax rate. The vote must be regular vote.
Roll call.
Thank you. Yes, there's a motion to approve the proposed tax rate. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the proposed tax rate. Is there any further discussion? Before we take the roll call vote, all right? I will start the roll call vote with trustee Elisate.
Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Plant? Yes.
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 No.
The vote is 5-1 to approve the proposed tax rate, and it passes. Right, the next agenda item is 8B, approval and action on nominations for the B County Appraisal District Board of Directors.
Interesting. Also, I'll defer to Tara or Steve for this agenda item as well.
So, state law requires participating taxing entities to annually confirm their vote allocation on the Central Appraisal District's Board of Directors. And so this resolution formally establishes the college's allocation of votes for the upcoming year. As you'll see as an attachment in your board book, we have a letter that we received from Deb Casado, the chief appraiser, and then also the board vote allocations based on the levy from the 2024 levy. And our piece of that is 393 votes that'll be allocated. And then there's a resolution attached with the nominations.
So I believe last time they gave all the votes to Paul San Miguel.
Yeah.
Which so far served well for us.
Also,
That's on page 45 of the packet.
This resolution.
yeah.
Need a motion, sir?
Yeah, is everyone ready to, no further discussion? All right, then Chair will entertain a motion.
I move that we keep our number of votes to Paul San Miguel, I believe, are 342, is that correct? Number
340.
340, 340, 340.
Oh, 393.
93, sorry, way off. Sorry. 393.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion before we vote? Okay. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Item 8C, consideration and possible approval of a resolution authorizing the continuation and ratification of the Faculty Senate pursuant to Senate Bill 37. Dr. Slattis?
So trustees, the purpose of this resolution is to reinstate the college's faculty senate. As part of Senate Bill 37, some of the new regulations actually require that any faculty senate across the state that is not meeting the new legislative guidelines is effectively dissolved as of September 1st. So I would say that over 98% of all senates were not meeting the new statute. In this work, we've actually worked very, very closely with our faculty governance groups. So I do have Professor Lester Williams here this afternoon that can attest to the collaborative work that has been taking place. I'm very proud of where we're at with this, considering the time constraints that we've had to develop or reinstate our faculty senate. I think it's very important in our shared governance work that we have these governance groups put together and formulated, and more importantly supported on behalf of the institution and the college. So Professor Williams, if you'd like to just elaborate on some of the work that we've been doing over the past couple of weeks.
Sure, yeah, certainly it's been a back and forth to make sure that we're all up to date on the regulatory changes. And there's only so much wiggle room within the new law, so we're sticking all the way straight to the new legislation. And then anything that was up for flexibility or discussion, we met numerous times as a faculty senate with Dr. Suarez to come to an agreement and make sure we were up to date get on the same page regarding those changes. So I'm very happy with the end product as it relates to any flexibility that was available on our end.
And it's been very fulfilling and great work, I would say. So thank you for your support and the collaboration in getting this done. So it's just that I'm very excited about where we're at. And as part of this resolution, the administration does ask that the Board of Trustees, Coastal Bend College approves and adopts the resolution authorizing the continuation and ratification of Faculty Senate as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
The next item is consideration and approval of the updated Faculty Senate bylaws. Once again, as part of this work is making sure that our bylaws were in compliance with Senate Bill 37. So we did have some very extensive dialogue, some adjustments and modifications that needed to be made that would keep us in compliance, but would also allow us to streamline communications between Faculty Senate and ultimately the administration. So Professor Williams, I don't know if you have any additional updates that you want to provide on that work, but it coincides with the previous motion.
Updates on it.
Yeah. So, and as part of that process, we ask that the Board of Trustees of Coastal Bend College approves the updated Faculty Senate bylaws as presented in compliance with Senate Bill 37.
I so move.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the updated Faculty Senate bylaws. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Appreciate it.
Next item is item 8E, consideration and possible approval of private auto travel reimbursement rates for in-district and out-of-district travel.
And for this one, Tara and I are very popular at this month's board meeting, so I'll defer back to Tara.
So y'all probably, are thinking that we just brought y'all a travel, agenda item, I think back in June. This is really just to update some of the language for clarification regarding in-district and out-of-district travel. I do want you to also keep in mind that we, had, a budget approval to, back at the August sixth, budget meeting, to approve some purchase of some fleet vehicles that y'all will discuss at a later time. But, in regards to that, we do have, travel guidelines that require them to, utilize those vehicles, when possible. But for purposes whenever they travel by private auto, for out-of-district travel is 100% of the IRS standard mileage rate. And in-district travel will be 50% of the IRS standard mileage rate. Prior to this, there was a different threshold that was much lower than this rate currently. And so we won't have to update this annually because whatever the mileage rate goes to, it'll fluctuate based on the IRS rate. And so this was really just a language clarification for reimbursement. And so, but it's still higher than the thresholds that were previously. For less than 150 miles, it was $25, and for more than 150 miles was $35. When you do the calculations, this is significantly more than those calculations were previously, so.
How does this affect people that are off campus as far as fleets and vehicles that, you know, that they can use to come maybe to CBC?
So for the most part, if there's not a fleet vehicle at an outside campus, then they would use their personal vehicle. There are also, I believe, do they have, I think some have.
They do have fleet vehicles. Trustees, some of the concerns that we've gotten from staff is just the safety regarding the use of those fleet vehicles. So to answer your question, from a budgetary standpoint, a lot of faculty and staff are opting to use their own personal vehicles because of that safety concern. So it is, from an expenditure standpoint, it does increase the allotments and the usage. So part of some of the strategic priorities that we have for this year is purchasing new fleet vehicles will help pretty much make sure that we're not spending as much with respect to usage of personal vehicles and travel.
And I know we just put this together, but maybe in the future, there could be something that if they're coming in groups, that they could get a full rate. You know, instead of a bunch of people at 50%, then it might be more lucrative for people to carpool and get the full rate for mileage, because I know it is expensive and it does wear and tear your vehicle. I don't know how often we ask people to come to the different sites.
It varies by department and really depending on the need as well. And it's also travel off the site. So for instance, if they're visiting the high school for recruitment purposes, that will change the dynamic of who's traveling and when they're traveling and the use of the fleet vehicles that we have available. But I know that once we follow through with the procurement of the new fleet vehicles, that it will really adjust the actual usage and really alleviate some of that safety concern that our faculty and staff have on the usage. So we've done a lot of research in that sense as well that we'll discuss later.
And I think we've brought this to cabinet several times to discuss among all the cabinet members, just to make sure that we're being good stewards of the college's resources, but then also, knowing what the people who do travel, frequently need and what they value. And so we've gotten really good feedback about this change, and so.
Good, thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
Why do we give 100% for out-of-district and 50% for in-district, just to educate?
That's a good question. Does anybody want to elaborate, since this was kind of in place before I started, but,
Part of some of the discussions that we had is just in order to mediate cost, that's really one of the reasons why we adjusted the allocation amount. If we pay the 100% in district, that's where it will offset how much we're expending from year to year. Yeah, so it is a budgetary concern or considerations that we're using as part of this recommendation.
Now, because it's 50%, do they get to,
They
well,
can
with
just
50% on their own tax
Yeah, I would hope so, but I think that's more of an
I think
accounting.
that's part of
And
it.
they
Yeah.
probably wouldn't,
Yeah.
you know, that's just the
They will be
reality.
using a cheaper gas because they're.
But I do think that it is noted, like, if travel's required as part of their job, I think that that's discussed early on, you know, whenever they're accepting job positions where they know there's some travel required and they choose to use their private auto, then they have this in place, and if, you know, available, there hopefully is a fleet vehicle for them, so.
It's just something I'd like to look at in the future, just to see how much we're spending and how it's received, because I do understand that it is expensive, and it gets expensive, and we're paying everybody, what is it, like $70 at least to come to campus from some of the other sites. But at the same time, you know, it is probably what the IRS deems as a fair rate. So I'd like to make sure we're being as fair, and maybe some of that could be ironed out with if people requiring first that they carpool in groups or whatever, and I don't know if you can even do that either, you know, that's
Yes, I
some
think
people won't
for,
wanna do that, but.
yes, and that's something that we have discussed as far as like whenever they're, like convocation, whenever there could be multiple people traveling, from a remote site. One of the things, and the reason that this is in place is there are several people who don't live in a CBC, district in town, like they live outside, and so they're having to travel. And so we've had to be, very clear in our expectation that we don't pay commuting mileage because you expect to commute a certain number of miles, and so we have to deduct that and things like that, so we are being very mindful of.
I think what we had was, that you would pay mileage from the campus regardless of where you lived, you know, it went from wherever your campus was.
And which is reasonable, I mean, this is
Not that we just wanna spend money, but also we wanna be fair to the employees.
Any additional discussion regarding this agenda item?
No, sir.
All right, do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion to approve, second, and second something. All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item is item 8F, consideration and possible approval of the interlocal agreement with participating members of TACCBO for cooperative purchasing of goods and services.
I think this is a very good initiative, trustees, with respect to the procurement of items. So as part of the Texas Association of Community College Business Officers, we are recommending that we enter into this interlocal agreement that would offset some of the costs as part of this partnership and the procurement of goods across the college. So let's see, I'll defer to Tara for specificity on,
The hot seat thing.
yeah.
So this came across, in an email, on a listserv for, the college CFOs, and so of the 50 community colleges in Texas, quite a few of the larger colleges have already entered into this interlocal.
I thought we did. Have we done it? Are we?
Yeah, is this a different GPO or is it?
This is the TACBO one, and I think
We
that
were
it's,
in one before, the GPO before this.
okay, I'm not sure if that one is still in place, I would have to check, but this one is, fairly new.
Okay.
And so far, some of the larger Tarrant County, Collin College, one in Dallas, they're just like some larger ones, and they have some pretty good, they sent us some of their RFPs and things, and it would just allow us to be able to kind of tag onto those contracts and get that pricing. And, some of the larger colleges are able to negotiate much lower prices than we would be able to get independently, and so I feel like it would be good for us to join because it would help us to stretch our dollars a bit further, so.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item is item 8G, consideration and possible approval of a new applied science degree in project management. Dr. Suarez?
So I'm particularly excited about this agenda item and some of the work that we've been doing with our academic administration team. We really looked at a lot of the data with respect to what programs of study are relevant to our community. There's discussions that I've had with the Beagle Development Authority and some of the work that they're doing and some of the skills and trades that they would like to bring to the region. So as part of this request, we had our academic administration team put together a proposal that I strongly support. It's very well thought out, very strategic. It aligns very well with our current institutional resources, so it would require limited resources to get up started and running. So I'll defer to Dr. Johnson and his team in this work. I do want to thank Dr. Johnson for your leadership. Dean Blightry, thank you as well for leading this initiative and really putting the work in to evaluate and assess the needs within the area and putting together this proposal for the trustees. But if you want to maybe elaborate a little bit more on that.
Vice Chair Sanchez and fellow board members, we have a unique opportunity here to capitalize upon one of the growing needs within the workforce here within the South Texas region and Coastal Bend region as well. But doing a majority of the work of this particular project is, of course, the venerable Dean Blightry. So I'll let him go ahead and discuss.
Thank you, sir.
The venerable.
I coached him on
I heard you say that, venerable.
I coached him on the theatrics of it.
Hold on, we need to cut that door. Have to cut that door a little wider next.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, the last few times I've been up here, we've had to do what was necessary, and because of that, we now have an opportunity for strategic growth inside of CTE. So with the space that we have and with the needs of our community, after we went through the workforce data, we found that project management fits the needs of our communities and surrounding communities and regions perfectly. This degree plan is able to be placed within the business administration and management SIP code, which we have for our new AAS of business management that was approved earlier this past academic year. Fits in amazingly well to the point where it now becomes stackable credentials, where we can utilize that level 1 in both of the programs, but then as the students enter into their second year, they also have the field of study in business management, which is 100% transferable according to the co-board. And then we've embedded 2 certificates, one CAPM and the other embedded certification. I forgot that name because I'm nervous. Here we go. CPIM, Certified in Production and Inventory Management, and then Certified Associate in Project Management. Both of those are external certifications that are nationally accredited. The students will have on top of the field of study, on top of the level 1, and the applied associate's degree.
Wow. That's awesome.
Both of those embedded certifications come at a cost if you were to buy it in the free world. CAPM is a precursor to the PMP certification. That certificate would cost you $4,500 just for the educational course and the opportunity to take the class. So that one course will save the student thousands of dollars to obtain that external certification. This also becomes a launch pad for a Bachelor's of Applied Science, which one day will be a reality. Any questions?
No, sir. Thank you. I move to approve.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve. Any further discussion?
No.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next is item 8H, consideration and possible approval of proposed policy updates to align with TASB updates.
Thank you, Vice Chair. With respect to these policy updates, over the past 30 days, the last board meeting, we've taken a very assertive approach to revisiting and revising our institutional policies to align with TASB. So Dr. Maldonado has been assisting in a lot of this work, and we've been evaluating policies that need to take priority based on legislative updates or compliance mandates that we have as an institution. I will share that the bulk of these policies being presented to the board today are standard updates as part of the regular TASB scheduled updates. So there's nothing significant in what's being recommended and what the board is being asked to approve. However, there is one policy that I did want to highlight because I think it is important with some of the changes or modifications that are being requested, specifically CN Local, which is facilities construction. That policy has some language with respect to construction contracts and the threshold that the board delegates me as the president to actually approve of. Initially, and I'll read through it so the board can have a further understanding of what's being requested. So prior to advertising, the board shall determine the project delivery contract award method to be used for each construction contract valued at or above. That initial amount was $50,000. Administration is asking the board to increase that to $100,000. And this is part of also some of the new legislative allowances that CEOs have with respect to this policy. So that threshold has increased over the recent legislative updates. So what we're asking the board to approve is.
Aligned with that.
Yes, correct. As you know, a lot of the construction updates and any type of maintenance projects that take place often surpass this threshold. Anything that's a large capital project, obviously we would still bring that to the board. However, there is other projects that still have to take place throughout the fiscal year that don't. For instance, upgrades in like HVAC systems where we have to purchase a new HVAC equipment. That is something that is, as the president, I'd like to facilitate that process expeditiously, just so we make sure that we're not interrupting services or students in any way. So that's.
This is not aggregate, right, this is individual?
That's individual, yes, correct. And it's something that, if approved, we would still bring and report to the board when those purchases are made, so the board would be informed of that. However, there is times where, more often than not, we're having to proceed in a very expeditious manner, and that's why this change is being recommended to the trustees.
Any questions or comments from the board?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item is item 8I, and it's consideration of possible delegation of authority to the college president and designee to select project delivery contract award method that provides the best value to the college for the Bugle campus, Howdy Latcham Buildings HVAC upgrades project.
And once and final time, we'll defer to Tara on this item.
So this is one of the items that was included in the budget related to the tax maintenance note for 2023. We are moving forward with this project, and this is the HVAC system in this building, and so I'm going to defer to JC since he is working with the architect. The reason that it's presented and giving delegation to Dr. Suarez is because we were trying to find the best way to purchase this item, because we have to either go out for bids or go through the buy board, and so I'm gonna let him give you all some more details since he's the one that's facilitating this project.
Yes, so what's going on here is that we do have a timeline with the maintenance tax note. So what we want to do is purchase some of the HVAC equipment through co-op, and that'll help us get through some of the lead time that we have to have. We can't do anything about lead time. So some of what I'm seeing is up to 22 weeks lead time, and that we want to just push that forward. And then the other part is the going out for RFP and find a contractor to come and do the installation for us. So kind of separating it so we can move along and get the project started at complete. And then we do want to aim for this to be done in the summertime between May and August during the downtime, so we can shut the building down and then do the HVAC, because it's going to be completely out of power and air conditioning and things like that. So
Are you gonna have to go out for bids for this, is that?
only for the construction part.
Okay.
The equipment, we want to do a job order contract, or go through the buy board co-op to purchase that. So we're basically splitting it up. We want to buy the equipment, get it in production, get it on campus, so we take ownership, hire a contractor to come in and do the installation for us.
So you're gonna have to go out for contract bids, just reiterating what I heard. Okay.
Any other questions on it?
Move for approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 8J, consideration and possible action on request for nominations for board reorganization. At the last meeting in August, our regular board meeting, our board chair, Jeff Massengale, submitted his resignation as board chair, effective upon the election of a new board chair. And so at this time, we have that vacancy for board chair to fill. I'll open up the floor for consideration and possible motions regarding this matter.
I nominate you for chair.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that I be elected as board chair. I'm honored. It's not really a position I sought. I thought Chair Massengale was doing a great job. I wish he had stayed on. But knowing the support I have from this board, that has worked very diligently, particularly this year. We faced some challenging times, and everyone committed a great amount of time, particularly in the summer, to moving the college forward. And so, knowing that I've got that support from this board, I would accept if elected. I don't know if there are any other nominations for board chair.
No, sir.
All right, then,
By acclamation.
so by acclamation, the board moves to
Yes.
elect me as the
Absolutely.
new board chair.
Yes.
All right, okay. Corey, is that sufficient, or do we need to vote more formally for that?
I would go ahead and, since you have a motion and a second, just take a formal vote.
Okay, all right, it's been moved and seconded to elect me as the new board chair. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. That results in a vacancy in the vice chair position. And so at this time, I would open the floor to discussion and nominations for the position of vice chair.
I will nominate Kevin Bear for a vice
I'll second
chair.
All right.
Only here, not at home.
I was fixing to get Victor.
She has spoken.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to elect Kevin Bear as the new board vice chair. Any further discussion? Any other motions?
I
No?
think we have a real good team for nominations. Mr. Bear has served as the president of the Vigo Independent School District, as chairman.
All right.
Congratulations, bro.
Thanks.
All right. All in favor, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of electing Kevin Bear as the new vice chair of the board, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes. And I believe that's it. That's the vacancies that were on the board that we had filled. I believe we will continue to be honored by Mercy Flynn Service as board secretary. And so we are thankful for that. We move on to the last item under new business. Item 8K, which is consideration and approval of individuals to serve as financial signatories.
So consideration of some of the recent officer changes with respect to the Board of Trustees, it is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve changes in authorization of signatures for Coastal Bend College bank accounts effective immediately following the board's reorganization and officer appointments.
So moved.
Second? Mr. Bovis, all right. So move and seconded to approve. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And that is the last item, other than we now move to agenda item number 9, which is the approval of the financial reports for August 2025. Dr. Suarez, in your administration.
For this, Chair Sanchez, there was a discrepancy on where this board item was placed. It should actually have been placed under item number 10 on the board agenda, so I apologize for that. As you all may have noticed, there has been some changes on the board agenda and the structure that really is intended to make it a more streamlined approach. Also, our cabinet and their support here as well has been part of that process. So moving forward on any informational reports, those will be reports that we'll provide to the board that we can provide clarification on, but really they just serve as a FYI for any inquiries that the board may have on those items.
Thank you.
So no action is necessary in that report.
Is there any presentation regarding that report, Dr. Suarez?
Not at this time, no.
All right, moving on to item 10A, board committee reports, executive finance audit policy. I don't know that there were any meetings since our last regular board meeting. Dr. Suarez, are you aware of any?
No, not at this time.
Okay, all right. Then we can move on to item 10B, approval of contracts for employment and resignations as recommended by the college president.
Yes. So on this one, once again, trustees, we will be providing this as an informational report, so don't necessarily require any type of action on that. We'll make those adjustments and corrections for the next board meeting.
All right, then at this time, it is 7:01. The board will move into executive session. We'll now convene in a closed meeting to discuss the following matters posted on our agenda this evening as allowed by the Texas Government Code and or Education Code, attorney consultation, Government Code, Section 551.071, and personnel matters, Government Code, Section 551.074. Thank you. All right, it's 9:01, and we are back in open session, coming out of executive session. There are no items from executive session that require action from the board. I turn it over now to Dr. Suarez.
Thank you. So just some quick announcements. I have been invited to serve on the 25-27 Texas Association of Community Colleges Legislative Committee this afternoon, actually, and I've accepted that invitation. I think it'll be a good opportunity for us to have representation and a voice on that group as we move forward through that legislative session. Just another quick update, our convocation will be held on Friday, September 26th at 9 a.m. In the James R. Dougherty Student Union Building or the sub. So if the trustees are available on that day, we more than welcome your attendance. I think it would be a good opportunity for us to collaborate with the college community at whole. We will be participating in the B County Western Week Parade on Saturday, October 4th at 10 a.m. So we're excited for that. I actually have the whole group of Suarez's family out there, and the boys will be dressed up in cowboy gear. So it'll give a chance for everyone to kind of collaborate with them. The CBC Foundation, in conjunction with the Joe Barnhart Foundation, will be having a Barnhart Entertainment Arts and Music Series, or BEAMS event. The BEAMS event will be held on Sunday, October 5th, and it is a Selena tribute concert starting at 6 p.m. in the Gertrude R. Jones Auditorium. The CBC Foundation, that's already covered that. And the next regularly scheduled board meeting will be on Tuesday, October 21st at 5:30 p.m. here in the Sandy Dirks boardroom. So those are the updates that I have for this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Suarez. This time I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved, Chair, or second?
Second. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes.